The oracles of the UCI, 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua HaMashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you are sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication, and all uncleanness, or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as become saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth. Therefore let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame, and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in Snow Mountain, Georgia. In the oracles we read every week, provoke not the angel, for he will not pardon your transgression, for my name is in him. Do we ever sit down and meditate on what things are provocation unto the angel? How do you provoke the angel of Yahweh? There's a whole lot of things in here where we're, when we go back and we read the going back and forth, you hear Yahweh says, state these things about the angel, but then the rest of the writing says, thus says Yahweh. And I think what we tend to forget is that's the angel that we're dealing with. See, a lot of times people look and think that they're dealing directly with Yahweh. You're not dealing directly with Yahweh. It's not set up like that. So that warning was given, and then every time there was this situation where the children of Israel were about to be consumed, it was this angel about to do the things that he had the power and the right to do. The next thing we have to ask is, how did Yahshua make the statement that the publican and the harlots go into the kingdom before you? How is that possible? What is Yahweh and Yahshua looking at that we're not looking at? See, Yahweh had already said when he chose King David that what I look for in men is not the same thing that you look for in men. So obviously the things that we're looking at are not the same things that Yahweh is looking at. Because how is it that we can walk in this word and then a publican and a harlot walk in the kingdom before us? How is that possible? They don't know what we know. So obviously it's not based on what we know. It's got to be based on something else. Because it's very well understood that the publicans and the harlots don't have the understanding that we have. So how will they walk in the kingdom before us? Then Yahweh is looking at the heart of an individual. This is what he said when he chose King David. He said, I don't look at men the way you look at men. Sometimes when we read the things about King Saul, we kind of forget that King Saul was a specimen of an individual. It says there was no one more goodly than him. He stood higher than everybody else. He was a good-looking fella. He was a warrior. We read the things about King David, and we know that he was a handsome fella, but he was a harp-playing dude. Saul was a warrior-looking dude. We forget that he was physically something to behold. And all Israel fell into the trap of what it looked like. But what it looked like is not always what it is. He looked a certain way. But do understand, he didn't ask to be king. He didn't ask for that situation. That was Israel's asking. And then he got put in a situation where he was placed in front of the entire nation because of their desires. So it is apparent that when we keep pushing, Yahweh will give us what we want, even if that thing that we ask for is going to destroy us. Let's begin today's sermon in Zephaniah chapter 3.
Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 1. Woe to her that is filthy and polluted, to the oppressing city. She obeyed not the voice, she received not correction. She trusted not in Yahweh, she drew not near to her Elohim.
Right, and understand, it's not Yahweh's not going to be the one to come to you. Yahweh's going to send individuals to you. So she obeyed not the voice, she received not correction. See, somehow in our minds, we believe that, and this is that respect of persons, that we can only be corrected by Yahweh himself. Well, Yahweh ain't coming down here to correct you. Yahweh ain't finna float down the hall to come talk to you. Go ahead.
Her princes within her are roaring lions. Her judges are evening wolves. They gnaw, not the bones, till the morning. Her prophets are light and treacherous persons. Her priests have polluted the sanctuary. They have done violence to the law. The just Yahweh is in the midst thereof. He will not do lawlessness. Every morning does he bring his judgment to light. He fails not. But the unjust knows no shame.
Right. You can't explain to the unjust any of those things. They don't see any shame. They're not shameful at all. It's like it says, you have had a whore's forehead. You refuse to be ashamed. A whore's forehead is covered when she does what she does. Her whole face is covered. Go ahead.
I have cut off the nations. Their towers are desolate. I made their streets waste, that none pass by. Their cities are destroyed, so that there is no man, that there is none inhabitant. I said, surely you will fear me. You will receive instruction, so their dwellings should not be cut off. Howsoever I punished them, but they rose early and corrupted all their doings.
Right. No matter what loss we suffer, no matter how Yahweh tries to bring us closer, we'll chalk that up to something else and keep going forward. Go ahead.
Therefore wait you upon me, says Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of Yahweh, to serve him with one consent.
Right. We often forget that Yahweh is the one that confounded the languages. So people get deep into this language study and believing if they learn Hebrew or if they learn this language, then they'll be able to serve Yahweh so greatly, when Yahweh is not looking at the way in which you pronounce words. He's looking at the way in which your heart is directed. So we've spent all our time dealing with the wrong things. Then you have individuals that saying, hey, it's going to make it better if we learn Hebrew. We got to go through places where it's 20 different languages before you get to Israel. How's it going to help you to know the language where we going to end up? Learn some of them languages that we got to go through. That's going to be a help unto us. But learning the language of where we going to end up, we're in safety then. And then Yahweh said he going to take care of that. Go ahead.
Verse 10. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia my suppliants, even the daughter of my dispersed, shall bring mine offering. In that day shall you not be ashamed for all your doings, wherein you have transgressed against me. For then will I take away out of the midst of you them that rejoice in your pride, and you shall no more be haughty because of my holy mountain.
Right. It is amazing how the wonderful gift, the wonderful thing that Yahweh has given unto us has then somehow turned into a prideful thing that then eventually causes us to go against Yahweh. 1 minute we're happy that we have the truth of Yahweh. The next minute we get so full of pride that it's Yahweh we go against. Go ahead.
I will also leave in the midst of you an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of Yah.
Now see something wrong there, because what I hear on Sunday morning is God wants everybody to be rich. And if you ain't rich, something wrong with you. Your God must not be dealing with you if you ain't rich. What's wrong with you? You ain't blessed. Go ahead.
The remnant of Israel shall not do lawlessness, nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth.
That's after he purges Israel. What it says? The remnant of Israel. Y'all, we're going to do away with all that other mess. We can walk around, we can do all that stuff that we want to do. But all manner of unrighteousness is sin. If it's deceitful, it's sin. And he going to deal with it. The remnant, not all Israel. What does Saul say? They are not all Israel which are of Israel. He going to take care of his business. Go ahead.
For they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. Sing, O daughter of Zion, shout, O Israel. Be glad and rejoice with all the heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. Yahweh has taken away your judgments. He has cast out your enemy. The King of Israel, even Yahweh, is in the midst of you. You shall not see evil any more. In the day it shall be said to Jerusalem, fear you not, and to Zion, let not your hands be slack. Yahweh your El in the midst of you is mighty. He will save. He will rejoice over you with joy. He will rest in his love. He will joy over you with singing. I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly. Who are of you, to whom the reproach of it was a burden.
I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly. See, this is one of the things that affected Yahshua, because it says the zeal of Yahweh's house had eaten him up. So when he saw things that were not done correctly, he went in and turned over tables. He did all of those things. But if you didn't know what you were looking at, it looked like Yahshua was the aggressor. It looked like Yahshua was the problem maker. But the zeal of Yahweh's house has eaten him up. He's looking at them, knowing that they're not doing what they're supposed to do. The zeal of his house has eaten him up. So Yahweh separates these people. Okay, who sees what's going on and who deals with it in the correct manner? And what he's looking for, it says sorrowful. That's a feeling. So what he's doing is looking in the hearts of individuals. Forget what they mouth say, because people mouth say one thing. But who's truly sorrowful about the things that they see? When something is not being done the way that it's supposed to be done. And when you look at it, is it not being done the way that it's supposed to be done because you think, feel, and believe, or because you've actually examined the scriptures on how that's supposed to be done? That is $1 million question. Because at the end of the day, you can't go with Yahweh in front of the King of all things with what you think, feel, and believe. You got to go to him with, okay, this is what the situation is. this is what was done. This is what the law says. This is what was done. Yahweh ain't interested in how you feel about what was done. Was it lawful or was it not lawful? That's the only question he's examining. You can't go, when you start going into any court of law and you start talking about what you feel, they're going to stop. That's hearsay. They don't need us discussing that. This not an opinion poll about how you feel about another individual. Y'all can go do that on Facebook. This is court of law. Provide the law and show me how they broke it. Other than that, the rest is just you bumping your gums. Go ahead.
Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict you, and I'll save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out. And I'll get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame.
So Yahweh allows this thing to go on because the punishment of the children of Israel is also supposed to make Israel walk a certain way. So he's not going to stop it right away. Does he see that things are happening unto Israel that is not correct? Yes. And he's going to deal with everybody who's done it. But a part of letting that happen to you also makes you step up on another level. Go ahead.
At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you. For I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth, when I turn back your captivity before your eyes.
When I turn back your captivity, I'm going to make your captivity to cease right before your eyes. And when you're talking about a group of afflicted people who have not gone to war collectively in over 2,000 years, for us to see the real strength and power that we possess is going to be scary even to us. Because we haven't seen it. Even when we get a part of strength, it's because we went and joined somebody else's army and we saw strength in their army. We didn't see it in ourselves. We saw it when we joined something else. That's why we always trying to join something. Every time you turn around, here it is. The nations are supposed to be following us. And you can tell that they do that. But we walk around and we will join anything and everything. Always trying to belong to something. Trying to belong with somebody or something. Never knowing that the people are supposed to be gravitating to us. But we gravitating to everything else. Who is as blind as my servant? Let's go to Zechariah chapter 13.
Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 1. In that day there shall be a fountain open to the house of David and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem for sin and for uncleanness. And it shall come to pass in that day, says Yahweh of hosts, that I'll cut off the names of the idols out of the land, and they shall no more be remembered. And also I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirit to pass out of the land.
Check that out. The unclean spirit to pass out of the land. So that means that there's some direction that is being received by an unclean spirit. So when you try to explain a situation and say, you know, how you feel about it? No, I feel like I'm doing the right thing. What gave them that feeling? Remember the spirit that says, hey, go up and convince this man to go do this. How we going to do it? I go. I'll be a lion spirit unto them. So when the lion spirit talked, they believed that it was direction from Almighty Yahweh. Well, it was an angel of Yahweh that was lying to him. So then there's the spirit of error that leads, and you can't tell nobody nothing different. Because they feel like that direction is coming from Yahweh himself. And ultimately, it really is. Because once you get so far off, boom, go ahead, lead them. Keep leading them. That lion spirit was sent from Yahweh. He said, how shall we persuade this individual? That spirit came forth and said, I'll be a lion spirit. Now, where the hell did they practice lying at? Where did they practice lying at? Because nobody in the group gave that way of persuasion. Oh, I go. Volunteered. I go. How you going to do it? I go and I'm going to be a lying spirit to all his prophets. Really? You going to do that for us? You going to go lie for us? What Yahweh do? Go right ahead. And you shall prevail. Because it looked like you done this before. Go right ahead, you liar, you. Go ahead. Where did that lying spirit come from? And who taught it how to lie? Because Yeshua says, when he tell a lie, he tell an invention of his own. For he is the father and the maker of a lie. So who taught that spirit how to lie? Who was he hanging around that he was not only comfortable lying, but then could bring up lying and talk about it in a regular conversation? Why was he so comfortable? Why was he so comfortable talking about lying? In the presence of Yahweh, he was comfortable talking about lying. You're not that comfortable talking about things that you don't do on a regular. Read, bro.
Verse 3. And it shall come to pass that when any shall yet prophesy, then his father and his mother that begat him shall say unto him, You shall not live, for you speaketh lies in the name of Yah. And his father and his mother that begot him shall thrust him through when he prophesies.
And believe you me, that's going to have to take a change, because you know what we do? We think our babies can't do no wrong. See? So this said the father and the mother going to deal with him and say, you lying. Nowadays, folks will hear their babies lie. Say, I didn't hear that. It wasn't my baby. My baby can't lie. Right. So Yahweh going to have to change some hearts of some parents before we get to this part. Well, then they make sure that a certain mode of operation is going forth in the house. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the prophets shall be ashamed every one of his vision when he is prophesied, neither shall they wear a rough garment to deceive. But he shall say, I am no prophet, I am an husbandman, for man taught me to keep cattle from my youth. And one shall say unto him, What are these wounds in your hands? Then he shall answer, Those with which I was wounded in the house of my friends.
And consider that. These are the things where Yeshua end up walking in. What are these wounds in your hands? These are the wounds where I was wounded in the house of my friends. See, this is where Yeshua had to separate a situation between the thought process of Cephas. He said, Cephas, you're the rock on which my church shall be built. All right? You are the rock. I'm going to nickname you the rock. The church is going to be built on you. Then he starts saying, I go to be punished, to be killed. Cephas' flesh took over. Oh no, this shall not happen. And see, this is that thing. Well, we have to pay attention. Yeshua is not dealing with Cephas, he's dealing with the spirit that Cephas has entertained. He has already said that great things are going to happen with Cephas, right? Then he turned around and rebuked him right after that. Why? Because now he's entertaining his flesh. His flesh is saying, no, nothing's going to happen to you. No, such and such. Now we're dealing with what we think, feel, and believe. Then Yeshua has to say, get thee behind me, Satan. For you do not savor the things of Elohim, but you savor the things of man and of the flesh. So how did Yeshua go from praising the man, giving him a position, to dealing with him in the next sentence? All about whether or not we deal with the flesh or the spirit. Soon as he started dealing with the flesh, Yeshua dealt with him. And what was the flesh? I want you to be here. I want you to stay here. I want you to do such and such. Yeshua says it's not expedient for me to stay here. If I stay here, you die. I have a job to do. Your flesh wants me to do this. That's the adversary, the devil, tricking you. Because if he uses your flesh to want me to be around, then you end up with no atonement. Don't you see how he's using your flesh against you? Go ahead, bro.
Verse 7. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd and against the man that is my fellow, says Yahweh of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered.
That's what the adversary of the devil's MO is. See? Attack the shepherd. And once the sheep scatter, understand, how do you devour the sheep? You have to divide them from their place of protection. All right? So if you ever watch how wolves operate, They might just look like a bunch of hairy dogs to you, but they are absolutely amazing and skilled in the art of deception. It looks like they're doing one thing. They are communicating with one another, and they're separating the animal that they're hunting, and they bring it off by itself. So it looks like they make the animal believe that he's getting away. He's not getting away. He's actually being diverted right into a trap. So when they make that, cause that division, boom, the rest of the flock went this way, one or two went this way. That's exactly what they wanted. So they made it look like they were going this way. They're funneling him. And once they done that, all the rest of them who looked like they were going this way, they all now turn around and they all coming back. Now we got him exactly what we want. Because now he by himself. It says a threefold cord is hardly ever broken. But when something is by itself, you can devour it. So the first part of devouring it is getting it away from its strength. And once it's away from its strength, it has no choice but to be devoured. No matter how long, it can be the strongest antelope ever. It was king of the antelopes. Until it got with them wolves. Your rank with the antelope don't mean a damn thing now. Because they just cut you off from all your power. And made you feel justified while they were doing it. Go ahead.
You know, brother, that whole statement, smite the shepherd and the sheep shall be scattered, means a whole lot more when you've gone through some things.
Mm-hmm.
And for everybody sitting here, you know, it was fine listening to it in a song.
Yes.
Until we actually lost our shepherd.
You got it.
And we saw the results of the sheep being scattered. Mm-hmm. So for everybody that's sitting here or everybody that's listening, get what you can while you can of these teachings, because you never know what the outcome is going to be, where you might end up on your own having to walk this path.
It might put a responsibility on you that now it's your turn to teach this path. Now what you going to do if you just played around the water cooler all damn day? What you gonna do? When all you did was hang around in the lobby. Somebody asked you about the word, I can tell you about that Crystal Springs up front. Go ahead, bro.
And I'll turn my hand upon the little ones.
That is the objective. Once you divide, the next thing is to conquer. I'm gonna turn my hands on which ones?
The little ones.
Right. Come on, man. Wolf got sense enough to know who he gonna fight. Wolf ain't stupid. Hyena ain't stupid either. Hey man, don't nobody try to fight Mufasa, man. They go for the little ones. You go and go beat up Simba, man. Go slap Simba around, man. Go convince Simba that this is the way to go. Why don't you run up on Mufasa? He right there. Come on, you bad. He right there. It's 5 steps in between you and Mufasa. Go over there. Right. That's not how cowards operate. Go pick out a weakling. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that in all the land, says Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein.
Right. And you have to consider something. Look at all of these mysterious illnesses that have come up. Are we already entering into that part where some of the children of Israel are beginning to die off? Consider what happened in the beginning. It says the children of Israel have grown greater and mightier than we, right? So then they said, let us kill all the men children, all right? Let us kill all the men children. We'll save the women alive, so we'll absorb them into our culture, and they end up being incubators for the Egyptian children. Same thing is happening here. All of a sudden, mysteriously, in every ailment, we lead in the deaths of it. But you look at the situation. We are multiplying in this place no matter what happened unto us. And it happens in every place where we are. So then the powers that be have to find some creative way to cut down our numbers. But we still acting like it's business as usual. And this ain't nothing new. It's been going on. The prison system was one of those things. One of the things that Brother Eliel used to mention a lot, because he went to them Georgia Guidestones. What did they say? They had a certain number of people that were supposed to be on the earth, right?
500 million.
Now consider this. That means if you're dealing with the elite, every country has to decide how many people they got to get rid of to get that number. And all them people meet together every couple of years. Because this was supposed to be some global situation. Why we ain't heard about nobody else except this country? Everybody got their own numbers they got to reach. Go ahead.
And I'll bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined.
So the only ones he's dealing with is the third. See, the other parts got to die. See, those are going to be the part that are going to get your attention. The other are going to be refined so that they can be used. The other ones are unusable because they ain't going to listen. They're not going to receive correction. They will not repent. They're unusable. You ever seen some ball players that they're like, man, this person is an amazing ball player, but no team wants them? So no, that the rest of the team can't function when he's here. Although he's an amazing player, he's a cancer. So sooner or later, no one picks that player. Because all the stories of how they operate circulate. And Yahweh will not go to war with things that are not proven. Go ahead.
And will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I'll hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahweh is my Elohim.
Yahweh is my Elohim. Let's go to Matthew chapter 26. See, Lucifer takes pride in getting the first round draft pick. Yahweh takes pride in getting the mailman and turning him into an MVP. See, Lucifer don't work the way Yahweh works. Lucifer picking Ivy League scholars. Yahshua like, let me get the dropout that just got the GED. I'll take him. Lucifer like, man, I'm going to kill you, man. I got an Ivy League scholar over here, man. This dude 4.0. Yahweh saying, yep. And this dude 0.4. But that's, watch this. Watch this, though. Watch this. Watch what I do with the 0.4. I'm finna show you something. Right. That's how Yahweh get his glory. He not going to use the people who think they are. Think about it. He had a certain number of people. Yahweh cut it out. He said, that's too many. Because if I let you win with that many, you're going to think you did it yourself. So the people who already think they can do something themselves, no, I don't want them. Give me the ones who don't think they can do anything. Them the ones I want. Y'all see Leah direct this choir? She ain't never directed the choir before in her life. Y'all love those kind of odds. Oh, you ain't never done this? Good. It's going to be easier to teach you. The ones that's harder to teach is the one who think they know something. Because every time you trying to show them something new, here they go, oh, I know that. They done already cut their ear off before you finish talking. Yahweh said, that's unusable. That's refuse. Throw that away. Next. Can't use it because I can't teach it nothing. How you going to teach it something when it think it already know? So it never gets far enough to learn the real lesson. Lesson comes in levels. It might take you 3 years to get a full lesson. But if you think you already know every bit of it and you haven't even got to step 2, you're not going to do very good in serving Yahweh, the Elohim of all the earth. You're going to have a problem. Go ahead, brother. Matthew 26, and let's start at verse 30.
Verse 30. And when they had sung an hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. Then saith Yahshua unto them, all you shall be offended because of me this night. For it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad.
Right. So the very things that's written in the Old Testament is the very things that Yahshua, when he says, I'm come to fulfill, he's come to fulfill the things that were written of him. Because you have a whole lot of people that believe, hey, we don't have to do this because that part was law. He did away with law. He did away with the sacrificial part of law. Other parts of law are still valid. He came to fulfill things that were written concerning him. He could not fulfill adultery. He didn't commit it. He can't fulfill lying. He ain't tell no lie. He didn't fulfill fornication. He didn't fornicate with nobody. So he couldn't fulfill any of that. But he could fulfill this right here because it was written about him. So when somebody run up to you and they talking about that whole part about him fulfilling the law, make sure you go here. Make sure you understand that there are things that are specifically written about him that he had to fulfill. It had nothing to do with all of a sudden everybody can do whatever they want. Because in that same New Testament, it said all liars shall have their part that burns with fire and brimstone. Run, go tell that. That means white lives, brown lives, black lives matter. Right? Go ahead, bro.
No, I just wanted to say if the laws was done away with, there would be no reason for him to magnify certain things that he magnified.
Right. It doesn't make any sense. But when you are being led by what you think, feel, and believe, you have no reason to even meditate on that statement, brother. You don't have any reason to meditate on that statement because your heart has already told you this is it. God is love. Right. Go ahead.
But after I am risen again, I will go before you into Galilee. Cephas answered and said unto him, though all men shall be offended because of you, yet will I never be offended.
No, not me. Not me. What? Who gonna be offended? Who? Me? Not me. I'm your man 50 grand. Down like 4 flat tires. Right. Go ahead.
Yahshua said unto him, verily I say unto you, that this night, before the cock crow, you shall deny me 3 times.
Now, what it goes to show you is that man believes in his mind and in his heart that he could not possibly fall. It shows you the arrogance of man. Though everybody deny you, won't be me. Go ahead.
Cephas said unto him, though I should die with you, yet will I not deny
I'm
you.
ride or die, bruh. What? Read.
Likewise also said all the disciples.
Now he done got them into it. We ride or die too. Go ahead.
Then comes Yahshua with them onto a place called Gethsemane.
And he know all of them is gonna run. See, this when you got your good team. He didn't even look. Oh yeah, all y'all gonna be. We all gonna be there. Hey, y'all. Hey, what? Yahshua. Yeah, right. Okay, all right, right. Everybody talk that talk, but we gonna see who gonna walk that walk. Everybody talk that talk, but we gonna see when the hell and the high water show up. Let's see who walk it. Go ahead, bro.
And says unto the disciples, sit you here while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Cephas and the 2 sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. Then says he unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry you here, and watch with me. And when he went a little further, and fell on his face, and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me.
If it be possible. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will.
Automatically, here's what I want. But if what I want does not fit what you want, I submit to what you want. Go ahead.
And he comes on to the disciples and finds them asleep, and says unto Cephas, What, could you not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that you enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them and went away again, and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples, and says unto them, Sleep on now, and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that does betray me.
He is at hand that does betray me, because he has to betray him. This job has to be done. For atonement to be offered for the rest of the children of Israel, there has to be a betrayer in the midst. Somebody has to do this job. Go ahead.
And while he yet spake, lo, Jehudas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves, from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold them fast.
Now, if you are one of those that are convinced by the things you see, then you don't even realize the setup that just happened. As Yehudas comes and kisses Yahshua, that is the one that betrayed him. Yahshua knew exactly who was going to betray him. Yahshua knew he was a thief and gave him the money to hold. Nobody else will operate that way. We know somebody's a thief, we clutch the purse tighter. And no, I heard he steals. Yahshua said, yeah, he does steal. Here, hold my money. Why? Giving you perfect opportunity to throw away your salvation. Go ahead.
And forthwith he came to Yahshua and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. And Yahshua said unto him, Friend, wherefore art you come? Then came they and laid hands on Yahshua and took him. And behold, one of them which were with Yahshua stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear.
Now, you got to give it to him. Now, they had just had the ride or die conversation. All right? Now, it was a ride or dyer in there. All right? So he went to swinging. But then Yahshua is about to change the entire focus right here. Go ahead.
Then said Yahshua unto him, Put up again your sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword.
So how they think they're going to fight is not the way that he wants them to fight. Now they're confused. This is what's going to break up. See, we have in our minds the way we're going to deal with something. And when it doesn't fit the spirit, we get discombobulated. Everybody that swing at you, the spirit don't want you to swing back. That may be you that want to swing back. Go ahead.
Thinketh you that I cannot...
Too much giggling going on around here. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Go ahead, bro.
Thinketh you that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12?
You ain't doing me no favors. Put your little sword up. You know who I am. You think this little thing getting me down? Wait, and I'm going to show you something. Go ahead.
Thinketh you that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels?
Right. One angel tear up the earth. I can get 12 legions. And you got your little bit of little knifey knife. You pull out your little Swiss Army. I'm going to cut you. Don't you mess with my Yahshua. Man, put that little thing up. Go ahead.
But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled?
How then shall the scriptures be fulfilled? Man, I got a job to do. I have to come and fulfill the things that are written of me. So I'm going to need you to get out your flesh, put your little sword down. Let me take care of my business. I know what I'm doing. Go ahead.
That thus it must be. In that same hour said Yahshua to the multitudes, Are you come out as against a thief with swords and stave for to take me? I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, and you laid no hold on me. But all this is done, that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. And they that had laid hold on Yahshua led him away to Caiaphas, the high priest.
And in our own mind, we would never run away and leave Yahshua. Not us. That ain't how we see it. Because, we got these things that we play in our mind. And in our mind, you ever had a conversation? And in your mind, it was going to go one way when you say it, such and such. Any man who has a wife has definitely had this happen to them. In your mind, you was going to go home and you was going to say something to your woman. And it was really profound in your mind. And then when you said it, that's not how she took it. And then you realize that situation did not go how you planned it in your head. In your head, it went amazingly wonderful. Okay? But real life application did not go the way that you saw it in your head. Well, I'd like to introduce you to Yahshua. There are some things sometimes that will go one way in your head. So sometimes you got to just let them stay there for a while. Because if you let that jump out too soon, you would then realize that didn't go the way I saw it in my head. Go ahead.
Where the scribes and the elders were assembled. Verse 58. But Cephas followed him afar off onto the high priest's palace and went in and sat with the servants to see the end. Now the chief priests and elders and all the council sought false witness against Yahshua to put him to death, but found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none. At the last came 2 false witnesses, and said, This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of Elohim, and to build it in 3 days.
Stop. Did he say that?
Yes.
There are some people that have played the role of a false witness and don't even know it. They said the truth, yet they will forever be false witnesses. Why? Because the intent of their heart when they came to testify. Boy, read, man.
And the high priest arose and said unto him, Answer you nothing. What is it which these witness against you? But Yahshua held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure you by the living El, that you tell us whether you be the anointed, the son of Elohim. Yahshua says unto him, You have said.
You see, what the adversary wants to do is to provoke you to say something so that you will condemn yourself. So the uneasy feeling when you are amongst your enemy is happening to you for a reason. There's things that you would have said that you didn't say. You find out later, that's for a reason. The word says, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth when I'm in the presence of my enemies. You want to say something and something just won't let you say it. You hadn't realized yet that that's your enemy. So you still thinking that's your friend in front of you. Later on you realize, oh, that was my enemy? So Yahweh was making me not say. Because you go back and you say, I should have said this, I could have said this, I could have said that. Yahweh said you ain't saying none of it. That is your enemy in front of you. Shut your mouth. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter shall you see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, He had spoken blasphemy.
See, all they wanted to do is push him to talk, then throw out the false witnesses. We don't even need the false witnesses anymore. We got his own words, and we're going to condemn him with his words. Go ahead.
What further need have we of witnesses? Behold, now you have heard his blasphemy. What think you? They answered and said, He's guilty of death. Then did they spit in his face and buffeted him, and others smote him with the palms of their hands, saying, Prophesy unto us, you Mashiach. Who is he that smote you?
You see how fast we get off, we'll join into somebody else's mess? It says, don't go with a multitude to do evil. You got a few people who want to do this thing, but once it goes forward, look how fast we join on into it. Now we slapping and spitting and doing all of this, desiring a murder. Let the murderer go, but kill him. Go ahead.
Now Cephas sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, You also was with Yahshua of Galilee. But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what you sayest.
Now, before we get in and go in hard on Cephas, understand, everybody else already gone. Understand that now. Understand. Before you get down on him, what the rest of them at? Okay.
And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him and said unto them that were there, This fellow was also with Yahshua of Nazareth. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. And after a while came on to him they that stood by, and said to Cephas, Surely you also are one of them, for your speech bewrayeth you. Then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man.
Right, hey, even the holy man, you push him, he gonna tell you something. Hey, look here, mother suckers. I don't know him now. But Yahshua knew he was gonna do that. And Yahshua already covered him for what he was gonna do. Because Yahweh know the heart of the man. He already covered him. He already got him for this. Go ahead.
And immediately the cock crew. And Cephas remembered the word of Yahshua, which said unto him, Before the cock crow, you shall deny me 3 times. And he went out and wept bitterly.
That's repentance. See, that's the one thing that you don't see the accusers doing. Accusers not going to weep bitterly because they don't care. He cares. That's why he's weeping. What did it say? All of those who felt a certain way for the house, all of those who felt sorrowful, they care. He's separating them from everybody else. The ones that don't care, he don't need them people. They don't care enough to even do the job with any zeal. He don't need them. So, was he a flawed man? Did he fall? Yes. Look, he's weeping bitterly for his fall. That shows that he wants to be a better man. Let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2.
Verse 1. I will stand upon my watch, and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me, and said, Write the vision, and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith.
The just shall live by his faith. This is not a New Testament statement. People keep repeating it like it's something that showed up when Yahshua showed up. Go ahead.
You also, because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathers unto him all nations, and heaps unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite you? and awake that shall vex you, and you shall be for booties unto them. Because you have spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil you, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that covers an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. You have consulted shame to your house by cutting off many people, and have sinned against your soul. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by lawlessness.
It may seem like it's going to prosper, but Yahweh going to take care of that business. Go ahead.
Behold, is it not Yahweh of hosts, that the people shall labor in the very fire? And the people shall weary themselves for very vanity? For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of Yah, as the waters cover the sea. Woe unto him that gives his neighbor drink, that putteth your bottle to him, and maketh him drunken also, that you may look on their nakedness. You are filled with shame for the glory. Drink you also, and let your foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto you, and shameful spewing shall be on your glory. For the violence of Lebanon shall cover you, and the spoil of beasts, which made them afraid, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. That profiteth the graven image that the maker thereof has graven it, the molten image, and a teacher of lies, that the maker of his work trusteth therein, to make dumb idols.
Right, just making an idol is in effect teaching lies. You teaching people to trust in something that's of straight falsehood. He says, he that keeps these commandments and teach men so. What did you teach? Because you shall be held accountable for it. Go ahead.
Woe unto him that says to the wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise, it shall teach. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it. But Yahweh is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him.
All right, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 22. Jeremiah chapter 22, and we're going to read verses 13 through 30.
Woe unto him that builds his house by unrighteousness, and his chambers by wrong, that uses his neighbor's service without wages, and gives him not for his work.
Right. Yahweh is not fooled. He sees how things are set up. He see this whole situation that's even in the daughter of Babylon. Yahweh has watched it. He has seen that they have prospered. They prosper because of free labor. They prosper because of stealing all other manner of people and things. And Yahweh is going to return that recompense upon their head. But then what we do is we watch the daughter of Babylon operate this way. So then we try and do the same thing. And I guess we forgot that we're going to be punished 7 times more. So then we try to do the same thing. We're going to start our own business, but we're going to start it outside of somebody else's business, stealing everything from them. They look up and little bits and pieces of things is missing because it's at your place. Oh, Yahweh going to punish you 7 times over. He know everything that was stolen. He know everything that was taken. Go ahead.
That says, I'll build me a wide house and large chambers, and cut some out windows, and it is sealed with cedar and painted with vermilion. Shall you reign because you clothe yourself in cedar? Did not your father eat and drink, and do judgment and justice, and then it was well with him? He judged the cause of the poor and needy, then it was well with him. Was not this to know me, says Yahweh? But your eyes and your heart are not but for your covetousness, and for to shed innocent blood, and for oppression, and for violence to do it. Therefore thus says Yahweh concerning Jehoiakim the son of Josiah, king of Yehudah. They shall not lament for him, saying, Ah, my brother, or Ah, sister. They shall not lament for him, saying, Ah, master, or Ah, his glory. He shall be buried with the burial of an ass, drawn and cast forth beyond the gates of Jerusalem. Go up to Lebanon and cry, and lift up your voice in Bashan, and cry from the passages, for all your lovers are destroyed. I spake unto you in your prosperity, but you said, I will not hear.
Right. It's hard for us to hear in our prosperity because can't nobody tell us nothing because everything going good. So then Yahweh got to change the situation a little bit, that maybe your ears are here. But he could have spoke to you and dealt with you in your prosperity, but we too damn arrogant to hear. Go ahead.
This has been your manner from your youth.
This has been your manner from your youth. You the same one. This ain't nothing new. You've been like this. Go ahead.
But you know, it's like you were saying earlier with our children. How honest can you be with your children? Instead of them becoming grown people with them same isms and schisms that you never dealt with when you saw them.
Right.
Because remember what we read earlier. The time's going to come when the parents going to have to kill a child.
Right. And then you have to look at, did you build that child up to get to that point where they can't listen to anybody, that they better than everybody else? Did you set them up for that fall? See, me, my first child, not having a father, I overdid the hell out of it. I bought everything. Kid ain't never even seen a regular pair of shoes till he was about 9. Everything was Jordan's. And he was looking at Father, what's are these? I mean, it was like coming to America. These regular Nikes? Where's the little man? The man, Father, where's the man? Where's the man? The man, the air guy, where's he? You know what I'm saying? Because that's is what I wanted. So I pushed all of that on him. So I can't be mad today. He don't want to go to the mailbox unless he got on $200 shoes. You know what I'm saying? I made that problem. See? How many people are man and woman enough to own up to the problem that they made? Read, bro.
That you obeyeth not my voice. The wind shall eat up all your pastures, and your lovers shall go into captivity. Surely then shall you be ashamed and confounded for all your wickedness. O inhabitant of Lebanon, that maketh your nest in the cedars, how gracious shall you be when your pangs come upon you, the pains of a woman in travail. As I live, says Yahweh, though Coniah, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Yehudah, were the signet upon my right hand, yet would I pluck you thence. And I'll give you into the hand of them that seek your life, and into the hand of them whose face you feareth, even into the hand of Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, and into the hand of the Chaldeans. And I'll cast you out, and your mother that bare you, into another country, where you were not born, and there shall you die. But to the land whereunto they desire to return, thither shall they not return. Is this man Coniah a despised, broken idol? Is he a vessel wherein is no pleasure? Wherefore are they cast out, he and his seed, and are cast into a land which you know not? O earth, 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 hear the word of Yah. Thus says Yahweh, write you this man childless, a man that shall not prosper in his days, for no man of his seed shall prosper, sitting upon the throne of David and ruling any more in Yehudah.
It is some things that you can do so much that you make yourself so foul that Yahweh not only deals with you, but it then follows and deals with your entire lineage after that. But this means that we would not hearken unto anybody. And you have to consider that you have done something so horrible that you have cursed everything that comes after you because you wouldn't listen. Now, you have passed on your problems onto a generation of children that are wondering, why the hell these things keep happening unto me? Let's go to Malachi chapter 3. And how unfair is that to the children? But you know, that's the only way some of us will listen. So you try to deal with us, we don't care. We rough and tough until something happens to our baby. Then we want to pay attention. And sometimes that's the only way Yahweh can even get our attention.
Malachi chapter 3 and verse 1. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Adonai, whom you seek, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom you delight in. Behold, he shall come, says Yahweh of hosts. But who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appears? For he's like a refiner's fire, and like fuller's soap.
Right. Who shall abide the day of his coming? Consider, when the children of Israel was presented with the power of Yahweh, what did we say? Hey man, don't let us see this sight no more. You go talk to Yahweh. And then you come back and talk to us. We don't want to see him no more. What? The power of the Spirit of Yahweh was so strong that if you ain't got yourself right, just being in the presence of it is going to consume you. That's the question. Who may abide at his coming? See, we sit here and say stuff like, oh, I can't wait till Yahshua show up. You do understand Yahshua showing up, just not going to be judgment upon the wicked. It's going to be a bright light shined on us too. So everything you ain't got right, it going to show up. So understand what that is we ask for. The light just don't shine light on the roaches. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto Yahweh an offering in righteousness. Then shall the offering of Yehuda and Jerusalem be pleasant unto Yahweh, as in the days of old and as in former years. And I'll come near to you to judgment, and I'll be a swift witness against the sorcerers, and against the adulterers, and against false swearers, and against those that oppress the hireling in his wages, the widow, and the fatherless, and that turn aside the stranger from his right, and fear not me, says Yahweh of hosts.
It says oppress the hireling. A hireling, somebody who was hired to do a job. You oppress the hireling in his wages. Yahweh sees it as absolute wickedness. But consider this. We have business models that have been set up by the daughter of Babylon. So then when we set up our business, we look and say, well, this is what's customary in this line of work. So then we do what we've seen all the other businesses do. And then you find out Yahweh start dealing with you. Go ahead.
For I am Yahweh, I change not. Therefore you sons of Jacob are not consumed. Even from the days of your fathers you are gone away from mine ordinances, and have not kept them. Return unto me, and I'll return unto you.
You return unto Yahweh by walking in the statutes that he has given unto us. You don't return unto Yahweh because now you just gonna sing deeper. You're gonna be nicer on the outside. Yahweh see way past that. Go ahead.
Says Yahweh of hosts. But you said, wherein shall we return? Will a man rob Elohim? Yet you have robbed me. But you say, wherein have we robbed you? In tithes and offerings.
And that ain't the only way we rob Elohim. We have talents and gifts. We have talents and gifts. And let me tell you something. Take it from when somebody has gone through something, you can't tell them otherwise because they know what they're looking at. I know what my personal talents and gifts were before. So when I offer up those very things for my Elohim, I know what it looked like. So when I see somebody who's not doing it, I know exactly what it looked like because I know how difficult it was for me to do my own. So you can't fool somebody who done already did something. When somebody else done read a book, you can't come and bewitch them and act like you done read it. They know you ain't read that book. Because they have. Will a man rob Elohim? Elohim says he's a very jealous Elohim. So he looks at the effort that we put in other things, and then he looks at the effort that we put on his things. You have robbed Elohim because he's looking at your effort. He watches your effort there. He watches your effort over there. And he's a jealous Elohim, right? So he just looks. And he watches both of those things. And he's witnessing that he's being robbed. What money can you give Elohim? The earth and the fullness therein is his. You think he wants your little Hyundai Elantra? No, what he's looking at is your effort. Look at your effort over here. And he just go, interesting. Interesting. And when you have made those sacrifices, you know exactly what they look like. Go ahead.
Verse 9. You are cursed with a curse, for you have robbed me, even this whole nation. Bring you all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house. And prove me now herewith, says Yahweh of hosts, if I'll not open you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it.
But see, that means you deal with Elohim stuff first, and then he takes care of yours, but it takes faith to do that. So then what we do is put all our time and effort into our own stuff, and then we don't have any time for Yahweh stuff. Matter of fact, we will actually say that. I don't have time to do that. Interesting. Go ahead.
And I'll rebuke the devourer for your sakes, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground, neither shall your vine cast her fruit before the time in the field, says Yahweh of hosts. And all nations shall call you blessed, for you shall be a delightsome land, says Yahweh of hosts. Your words have been stout against me, says Yahweh. Yet you say, what have we spoken so much against you? You have said, it is vain to serve Elohim. And what profit is it that we have kept his ordinance, and that we have walked mournfully before Yahweh of hosts?
See, now what we're doing is peeking at the heathen, and we look at the progress of the heathen, and we say, what profit is it for us that we've done all of these things? I want to prosper like the heathen. So I'm going to push some of Yahweh's stuff to the side so I can prosper like the heathen. Go ahead.
And now we call the proud happy. Yes, they that work wickedness are set up. Yes, they that tempt Elohim are even delivered.
Right, and we envy them. Go ahead.
Then they that feared Yahweh spake often one to another, and Yahweh hearkened and heard it. And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared Yahweh and that thought upon his name.
Once again, Yahweh is dealing with the people whose heart is stayed on him. See? Situations happen, and what Yahweh is doing is using those situations to divide people. Put these sheep over here. All right, put these cattle over here. Yahweh, what you doing? Shut up, I'll tell you later. Why you separate these sheep over here? Shut up, now I know what I'm doing. Put these sheep over here. See, these are sanctified for the master's use. Let them stay among the rest of them. They'll be for whatever. These, separate these. Go ahead.
And they shall be mine, says Yahweh of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I'll spare them, as a man spareth his own son that serves him. Then shall you return and discern between the righteous and the wicked,
right,
between him that serves Elohim and him that serves him not.
Him that serves Elohim and him that serves himself. Yahweh is making that division there. We think that we're making a division. The division is being made by Yahweh. Yahweh is the one that let it go forth. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 22. Sometimes you look back at a situation and say, you know what, I should have said this, I should have said that. No, it went exactly how it needed to go. See, our belief is that we think that Yahweh wants to save everybody and everything. Everybody ain't savable. He says, I will give men's lives for you. They have fulfilled their purpose. Was to make you better through tribulation. He says they will come against you as judgment to them. They came against you for their judgment, and they don't even know it. Ezekiel chapter 22, and let's start that at verse 1.
Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Now you, son of man, will you judge the bloody city? Yes, you shall show her all her abominations.
Now you got to be careful when you take on this job. You got to get ready for the rebuke. Now you, son of man, will you judge? Will you judge the bloody city? That's a serious question. Because you understand when you get ready to do this, you know it's going to be some lashing out, right? As you begin to do this job, then you're going to have all those who feel sympathetic to the shedders of blood. Now, as you start dealing with the shedders of blood, now you got good people who wearing their heart on their sleeve. They haven't figured out that their heart's supposed to be in their chest. So they got their heart on their sleeve, and now they feeling some type of way about the shedders of blood being dealt with. And if they ain't careful, they gonna get dealt with just like the shedders of blood. You are only as righteous as the wickedness that you justify. So when you protect a murderer, you might as well go murder too. Go ahead.
Then say you, Thus says the Adonai Yah, the city sheds blood in the midst of it, that her time may come, and maketh idols against herself to defile herself. You are become guilty in your blood that you have shed, and have defiled yourself in your idols which you have made, and you have caused your days to draw near, and are come even unto your years. Therefore have I made you a reproach unto the heathen, and a mocking to all countries. Those that be near, and those that be far from you, shall mock you, which are infamous and much vexed. Behold, the princes of Israel, every one wherein you to their power to shed blood, in you have they set light by father and mother. In the midst of you have they dealt by oppression with the stranger. In you have they vexed the fatherless and the widow.
Mm-hmm.
You have despised mine holy things, and have profaned my Sabbaths.
Right. You have despised mine holy things. If the holy things meant something to you, you would deal with them in a certain way. Go ahead.
In you are men that carry tails to shed blood, and in you they eat upon the mountains. In the midst of you they commit lewdness.
In you are men that carry tails to shed blood. They discuss the evil they're going to do. Go ahead.
In you have they discovered their father's nakedness. In you have they humbled her that was set apart for pollution.
All this stuff is law. Okay? You're not just grabbing a bunch of stuff out the air. Go ahead.
And one has committed abomination with his neighbor's wife, and another has lewdly defiled his daughter-in-law, and another in you has humbled his sister, his father's daughter. In you have they taken gifts to shed blood.
Mm-hmm.
You have taken interest and increase, and you have greedily gained of your neighbors by extortion, and have forgotten me, says the Adonai Yah.
Right, because if you remembered me, you wouldn't operate that way. What has gotten you to the point that you are okay with these things? When you see these things happening around you, how did you begin to be okay with it? They should have been feeling some kind of discomfort by even saying that kind of stuff around you. Why were they not uncomfortable saying it unto you? See, they should have felt uncomfortable. They didn't feel uncomfortable Because you made them feel uncomfortable or comfortable with saying unrighteousness. See, people pick and choose what things they're going to deliver. And if you get to that point that they are very comfortable doing all of those things, that means they really believe you have no conviction whatsoever when it really comes to this word. I mean, you may say something, but you obviously don't have any conviction, because why did they feel so comfortable saying those things to you? They didn't invite everybody else to that situation. Right. Go ahead.
Behold, therefore I have smitten mine hand at your dishonest gain which you have made, and at your blood which has been in the midst of you. Can your heart endure, or can your hands be strong in the days that I shall deal with you? I, Yahweh, have spoken it, and will do it. And I'll scatter you among the heathen, and disperse you in the countries, and will consume your filthiness out of you. And you shall take your inheritance in yourself in the sight of the heathen, and you shall know that I am Yahweh. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, the house of Israel is to be son of man, the house of Israel is to me become dross. All they are brass and tin and iron and lead in the midst of the furnace. They're even the dross of silver. Therefore thus says the Adonai Yah, because you are all become dross, behold, therefore I will gather you into the midst of Jerusalem, as they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace, to blow the fire upon it, to melt it. So will I gather you in mine anger and in my fury, and I'll leave you there and melt you. Yes, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my anger, and you shall be melted in the midst thereof. As silver is melted in the midst of the furnace, so shall you be melted in the midst thereof. And you shall know that I, Yahweh, have poured out my fury upon you. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto her, You art the land that is not cleansed, nor rained upon in the day of indignation. There is a conspiracy of her prophets in the midst thereof, like a roaring lion ravening the prey. They have devoured souls. They have taken the treasure and precious things. They have made her many widows in the midst thereof. Her priests have violated my law.
We're supposed to be a kingdom of priests. Go ahead.
And have profaned my holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and profane.
And nothing upsets Yahweh more. You don't know what a dividing line between the holy and the profane is? Even a dog got sense enough not to go where he eat. Dog go to the other side of the yard to go use the bathroom. He don't go right beside his bowl. Go ahead, bro.
Neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean, and have hid their eyes from my Sabbaths, and I am profaned among them. Her princes in the midst thereof are like wolves ravening the prey, to shed blood and to destroy souls, to get dishonest gain. And her prophets have daubed them with untempered mortar, seeing vanity and divining lies unto them, saying, Thus says the Adonai Yah, when Yahweh has not spoken.
And her prophets have daubed them with untempered mortar. So they seen the things that were not right, but then her prophets turned around and solidified them, giving those things justification where they did not deserve justification. Seeing vanity and divining lies unto them, then saying, Yahweh has said this. Oh, it's Yah's will. Go ahead.
The people of the land have used oppression and exercised robbery, and have vexed the poor and needy. Yes, they have oppressed the stranger wrongfully. And I sought for a man among them that should make up the hedge, and stand in the gap before me for the land, that I should not destroy it. But I found none. Therefore have I poured out mine indignation upon them. I have consumed them with the fire of my anger. Their own way have I recompensed on their heads, says the Adonai Yah.
Verse 30 says, And I sought for a man among them that should make up the hedge and stand in the gap before me for the land, that I should not destroy it. But I found none. So they was all trying to be neutral. Everybody trying to be even. So because nobody stands up and deals with the situation, now the whole land gets destroyed. Let's go to Hosea chapter 4.
Hosea chapter 4 and verse 1. Hear the word of Yahweh, you children of Israel. For Yahweh has a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of Elohim in the land.
Right. We've gotten so accustomed to things in the daughter of Babylon that we really don't consider how angry it makes Yahweh. And what happened, the inhabitants of the daughter of Babylon tries to normalize those things with us. So once they get normalized in our heart and our mind, we really don't see it as a transgression. But our transgressions are mounting up against Yahweh. Go ahead.
By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood touches blood.
But we hang out and think that we think this is the cool group. I remember a brother was telling me one day, and he really thought it was a cool situation. He was telling me how he was talking to this other man's wife, and he was doing something, and he was supposed to be a player. When I got done talking, I can't tell you he ain't met with nobody's wife, but I know he won't never damn tell me no more.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you that. He will never feel comfortable saying it in front of me ever again in life. If he die and wake back up, he gonna know, don't say that to yourself. So why the hell are they so comfortable saying that to you? Because I know I'll never hear it again, not from that individual. That's a smoke in my God's nostril. But you thought it was cool to tell me? Ain't gonna do it no more. Go ahead, brother.
Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heaven. Yes, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. Yet let no man strive, nor reprove another, for your people are as they that strive with the priests.
We don't care who we strive with. We believe we're in sport. And we're going to keep thinking that until Yahshua take care of the business. And Yahweh don't take care of his business right off. No. See, we're going to run out of time. He's not going to run out of time. Yahweh waits so that everybody can go ahead and put their name in the hat and say what they think, feel, and believe. He let everybody cast their vote. And then when all the votes in, then he deals with his business. Go ahead.
Therefore shall you fall in the day, and the prophet also shall fall with you in the night, and I'll destroy your mother. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge.
And that's totally different. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, not because they didn't have it, because they rejected it. Because it was something else that they wanted to deal with. It wasn't that they were not presented with enough knowledge to do what they needed to do. They rejected it because of something else. That means it was something in here. Go ahead.
Because you have rejected knowledge, I will also reject you, that you shall be no priest to me. Seeing you have forgotten the law of your Elohim, I will also forget your children.
See, this is how you can do something, and now that thing has followed unto your children. Because you dealt with something or some things in the wrong way, it doesn't just affect you. You have now affected your lineage with the mess that you decided to get off into. When Dawid got off into mess, did it not affect his children?
Mm-hmm.
His son raped his daughter. That was his doing. And Yahweh not going to run out of time. Yahweh come get you for your sins 20, 30 years later. It don't mean nothing to him. He don't care nothing about you, done forgot. Go ahead.
As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame. They eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart on their lawlessness. And there shall be, like people, like priests, and I'll punish them for their ways, and reward them their doings. For they shall eat, and not have enough. They shall commit whoredom, and shall not increase, because they have left off to take heed to Yahweh. Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart.
It takes away the heart. So that the heart is not able to deal with the things that it would deal with, because those things have taken it away. Now even the judgment is skewed. The thought process is skewed, because these things have taken away the heart. So it doesn't process things the way it would have. Go ahead.
My people ask counsel at their stocks, and their staff declareth unto them.
You know how sick you got to be to ask counsel at a stock is a piece of wood. So they done carved the idol out of wood and then go ask the piece of wood. Oh tree, oh great tree. How shall this thing turn out to me, oh tree? Right. Go ahead.
For the spirit of whoredoms have caused them to err, and they have gone a whoring from under their ell. They sacrifice upon the tops of the mountains, and burn incense upon the hills, under oaks and poplars and elms, because the shadow thereof is good. Therefore your daughters shall commit whoredom, and your spouses shall commit adultery. I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom, nor your spouses when they commit adultery, for themselves are separated with whores, and they sacrifice with harlots. Therefore the people that does not understand shall fall.
Right. I'm not going to punish them because of your doings. You didn't understand that you was committing whoredom when you ran off and dealt with all these other things? I'm going to show you what whoredom look like. I'm going to bring whoredom in your house. Let it go against you and let me see how you feel. See, it's real easy for us to look at situations when it happened to somebody else. It's totally different when it happened in our house. Now say, it's a problem down the street, but it's an epidemic when they make it our house. Oh my God, it's an epidemic. Wait a minute, it wasn't no epidemic when it happened 3 doors down? It's only an epidemic when it happened to your house. But some people, that's the only way they're going to see anything. When it happens at their house, when it happens to their child, then all of a sudden it's different. There's something very hypocritical about that. Go ahead.
Though you, Israel, play the harlot, yet let not Yehuda offend, and come not you unto Gilgal, neither go you up to Beth-aven, nor swear, Yahweh lives. For Israel slides back as a backsliding heifer. Now Yahweh will feed them as a lamb in a large place. Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. Their drink is sour. They have committed whoredom continually. Her rulers with shame do love give you. The wind has bound her up in her wings, and they shall be ashamed because of their sacrifices.
Verse 17 says, Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. There's some folk that they have gotten so far off in their head and in their heart. What you doing? Leave them alone. Let them do what they do. Because all that's going to happen is you going to get turned by hanging with them. I done tried to deal with them. I done tried to turn their heart and their mind. They're going to do what they want to do. And if you keep hanging with them, you're going to do what they're doing too. Let's go to Matthew chapter 23. Matthew chapter 23, and we're going to start at verse 1.
Then spake Yahshua to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, The scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moshe's seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. But do not you after their works, for they say and do not.
Right. They can tell you what's in the word, but they're not going to do any of it. Go ahead.
For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. But all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries, and enlarge the borders of their garments, and love the uppermost rooms at feasts, and the chief seats in the synagogues, and greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi. But be not you called Rabbi, For one is your master, even the Mashiach, and all you are brethren. And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father, which is in heaven. Neither be you called masters, for one is your master, even the Mashiach. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he shall humble himself, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. For you neither go in yourselves, neither suffer you them that are entering to go in.
Once you have a position, how you deal with that position is what places you in the place of hypocrisy. Once you have this power as being the scribes and Pharisees, for them to know the law of Yahweh and know how things are supposed to be done, tell people to deal with it, but then they themselves won't deal with it, it is absolute and utter hypocrisy. It's not because they don't know. It's because they have made a decision. That's why I said, you who teach that a man should not steal, do you steal? You know, I've had situations where people were denied certain part of their works because they said, well, don't do this because these people might take something and take it out the church, only to find out the very people who were saying those things, they did exactly that. Took things out of the church while they were saying that somebody else was going to do it. You can't get no more hypocritical than that. You mean tell me you was doing exactly the thing that you said they were going to do? You can't get no more hypocritical than that. How you going to accuse somebody of stealing and you know you just crawled out from under the house with some goods? Hey man, they steal. Watch them. What the hell is all that dust on you? Where you been? How you even fix your mouth to accuse somebody else of stealing and you know you just crawled out the damn window? There's something got to be in here for you to be able to do that. That's not an accident. You planned that. There's something in here. Any man can slip and fall and come short of the glory of Yahweh. That ain't the same as sitting down and plotting. That is not the same. You can go out with intentions today and slip and say, oh my God, Yahweh, I have not done what I was supposed to do. That is not the same thing. All right, look, when they do this, we're going to do this right here. And then we're going to take this, and then we're going to put this over here. That is not the same thing. That is not the same thing. Go down there to the DeKalb County and see what they say about it. They got two different sentences. They got one for murder, and they got one for premeditated murder. You might get about 15 more years and a death penalty for that premeditated one that you planned. Go ahead, bro.
Matthew chapter 23 and verse 14. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayer. Therefore you shall receive the greater damnation.
You shall receive the greater damnation. Why? Because there were certain expectations that were there. You're not going to get the same situation. This is how people really don't see. If you are the one holding the position, and you might be leading some people off to do something, the greater damnation not going to come on the people that you led. The greater damnation comes on the one who had the responsibility. The higher your responsibility, the higher your damnation. Go ahead.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you compass sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he is made, you make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. Woe unto you, you blind guides, which say, whosoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing. But whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. You fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gold or the temple that sanctifies the gold? And whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing. But whosoever swears by the gift that is upon it, he is guilty. You fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gift or the altar that sanctifies the gift?
And if your order is off, you're going to seriously have some problems because you're not dealing with things in the correct manner. And how could you? If you put the cart before the horse. Go ahead.
Whoso therefore shall swear by the altar swears by it, and by all things thereon. And whoso shall swear by the temple swears by it, and by him that dwells therein. And he that shall swear by heaven swears by the throne of Elohim, and by him that sits thereon. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought you to have done, and not to leave the other undone. You blind guides, which strain at a gnat and swallow a camel. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is the one that everybody say, he just all about love. But he dealing with this business. But when business start to get dealt with, here come everybody's feelings. Everybody that say they love Yahshua is going to find out they don't love Yahshua. They love Yahshua by their own means. They don't love him for who he is. They love him for who they want him to be. Go ahead.
You blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you are like unto whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones, and of all uncleanness. Even so you also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within you are full of hypocrisy and lawlessness.
Right, Yahshua is not fooled, and neither is Yahweh. Go ahead.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! Because you build the tombs of the prophets, and garnish the graves of the righteous, and say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. Wherefore you be witnesses unto yourselves.
Your actions make you witnesses unto yourselves. Go ahead.
That you are the children of them which killed the prophets. Fill you up then the measure of your fathers, you serpents, you generations of vipers. How can you escape the damnation of hell? Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them you shall kill and crucify.
Right, because what did Saul say? If I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? You can find that several times in this book. Have I become your enemy because I told you the truth? Because what we want to hear is them sweet nothing lies. Go ahead.
And some of them shall you scourge in your synagogues and persecute them from city to city.
We scourge them in the synagogue, but then still go down and say, Shalom, and hug them while you're scourging them privately. Go ahead.
That upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zechariah, son of Barachias, whom you slew between the temple and the altar. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you that killeth the prophets, and stoneth them which are sent unto you.
Stone them that are sent unto you. See, Israel is known as a messenger killer. Now, we kill the messenger. But don't matter because you can't kill Yahweh. All Yahweh going to do is send another messenger. And then the next one going to come ain't going to come with no message. The next one after that is going to come with judgment. Now, let's see if you can kill judgment. Go ahead.
How often would I have gathered your children together, even as a hen gathers her chickens under her wings, and you would not? Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. For I say unto you, you shall not see me henceforth, till you shall say, blessed is he that comes in the name of the Adonai.
All right, let's go to chapter 5, Matthew chapter 5, and let's start that at verse 17. See, when you start reading all this red writing, you find out that a whole lot of things that people think about Yahshua has absolutely nothing to do with him. This is their own mind that they have conjured up doctrines and beliefs. And then we'll argue about the conjured up beliefs that have been handed down to us. Instead of getting in the book and just reading, what did he say? So if this is what he said, then that conjured belief that's been handed down to you don't match. Which one you going to deal with? The conjured belief that you got from somebody who you care about? Or are you going to deal with what's written? Do you even call those to the table who gave you the conjured up belief? Hey, can I ask you something? You told me such and such. Where did you get that from? You might find out that they were like, well, hell, I don't know. Wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. You sounded real sure when you were talking to me. You mean tell me you don't know where you got it from? Well, I mean, I heard it somewhere. Ah, man. Now, you done went all your life with this conjured up belief. Come to figure out they really didn't even believe it when they told you. They didn't even understand where they got it from. Go ahead, brother.
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 17. Think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
Right. And you're going to have people that's going to say that to you, and you got to know where to go to deal with those things that he came to fulfill. He cannot fulfill lying. He ain't no liar. He didn't fulfill fornication, adultery, none of that. Go ahead.
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so.
What do you teach? What do you teach? And understand, you teaching, whether you holding a class or not, you teaching by doing and showing others. What are you teaching? See, you don't have to come and tell your kids, this is the stuff you do. When we go outside, we're going to do the car, we're going to do such and such. The kid watch you. See, you're teaching the kid what to do with the car by what you do with the car. You're also teaching the kid what not to do with the car when you don't do nothing with the car. So if they drive it until it blow up, then you say, why you do that? Well, hell, I ain't never seen you check no oil. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I seen you put gas in it. You put gas in it. I've been doing exactly what I saw from you. I put the gas in it. It took me, and there it is. And then I got you on the phone. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing exactly what you taught me. So what you teaching? Go ahead, bro.
You just brought up a valid point, because a lot of times we might do that stuff, but the kids inside playing video games.
You got it. Boy, you just said a mouthful. And I've recently gotten to the point where I'm just inconveniencing. Hey, tell that boy, come out here. Hey, come on, go on right now. And they be like, come on out here, look at it right here. Look at it right here. I'm about to grab it, get that rich over there. We're going to do this, about that. This might not take about 15, 20 minutes. Look, I need you to sit there. Now, come on. You don't be saying this. I'll be doing this. Yeah. I don't care about nobody's inconvenience no more. Go ahead, brother.
He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say unto you,
the same who shall do and teach. So now you got a double-fold situation. What you're doing, what you're teaching. Because you're teaching when you're doing. Go ahead.
For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees.
Now we just read about the hypocritical scribes and Pharisees, and unless your righteousness exceed that, what did he say?
You shall in no case enter into the kingdom of
heaven. You ain't going. Don't care how many pretty outfits you got. You're going to have some pretty outfits outside the gate. Go ahead.
You have heard that it was said by them of old time, you shall not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of judgment.
Now, do you have a cause? Is your cause just? Is your cause according to the law, or is it something that you think, feel, and believe? Produce your cause. Go ahead.
And whosoever shall say to his brother, Reka, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, you fool, shall be in danger of hellfire.
Wait a minute. Yahshua just called them a whole bunch of fools, didn't he? Didn't we just read a whole bunch of fools just now? Oh, okay, so that was for you. That had nothing to do with him. He dealing with righteous judgment. Don't think everything you read about you. Run, go tell that. Go ahead, bro.
Therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar, and there remember that your
I can
brother...
do it. Yahshua did it. What was that job? What's yours? Well, I sweep the lobby. Okay, so your job not judgment then, right? Well, go sit down and go sweep the lobby. Stay in the things that have something to do with your job. You have the power that is connected to the job you have. Go ahead, bro.
Therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar, and there remembers that your brother has aught against you, leave there your gift before the altar, and go your way. First be reconciled to your brother, and then come and offer your gift.
Right. So then we got works and gifts that are not being attributed unto us because we walking around knowing our brother got something against us and knowing we got something against the brother. But we're going to still keep offering our gift. We're going to still keep walking around like everything okay. Where did we learn such hypocrisy? Go ahead, brother.
Agree with thine adversary quickly, while you are in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver you to the judge, and the judge deliver you to the officer, and you be cast into prison. Verily I say unto you, you shall by no means come out thence, till you have paid the uttermost farthing. You have heard that it was said by them of old time, you shall not commit adultery. But I say unto you, that whosoever looks on a woman to lust after her has committed adultery with her already in his heart.
Do we consider that? Do we consider that we done already committed adultery? Read, bro.
And if your right eye offend you, pluck it out and cast it from you. For it is profitable for you that one of your members should perish, and not that your whole body should be cast into hell.
Right. So even a dumb animal know that, hey, I can't let the whole family get killed because this one antelope over here got a bad leg. It's better that one of your members should perish than the whole family get devoured. Even dumb animals got enough sense when to make the separation. But them lions on their way over here, and they look hungry. One of them keep licking his teeth. I stay around here with you, it's going to be a 22-piece snack instead of a 4-piece snack. Love you, but we got to go. You can hang around and be a part of the snack if you want to. Go ahead.
And if your right hand offend you, cut it off and cast it from you.
Do you have the power to cut off your right hand if it is what's causing you to be in a sinful situation? Yahweh says, I will leave things among you to prove you. The whole time we're looking at the situation thing, it's somebody else's test. Go ahead, bro.
For it is profitable for you that one of your members should perish, and not that your whole body should be cast into hell. It has been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement.
Who said it? What they said that at? They said it had been said. What are you talking about? Who said that? Moshe said that. It's written in the law. He is quoting law. Go ahead.
But I say unto you,
So now he's introducing a higher law. He didn't do away with the law. He's magnifying the law like my brother said earlier. Go ahead.
that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causes her to commit adultery.
Now see, this gonna make some people real angry right here. See, they claim to love Yahshua, but they don't like how Yahshua deal with some things. So they got to throw, they already throw Saul under the bus. Sunday morning have a real love-hate relationship with the Apostle Paul, they say. They love him one minute, they hate him the next. But it's hard for somebody to say they have a love-hate relationship with the Mashiach. Keep reading.
And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced commits adultery.
Ooh, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. See, you make a lot of enemies when you start reading stuff like this. See, then people want to call you, well, I have my own views about how marriage is. Don't nobody give a damn about what your views are. You ain't the judge of all the earth. Yahweh is. So what you think, feel, and believe don't mean a hill of beans. Go and tell Yahweh what you think, feel, and believe. See what happened to you. Go ahead.
Can I know what the view is like from the lake of fire?
Hey, brother. Hey, I like staying in the fire just like everybody else. I just don't want to be in it. Okay? I think a fire is very relaxing unless you're in it. It is not relaxing when you are the log. Okay? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 33. Again, you have heard that it has been said by them of old time. You shall not forswear yourself, but shall perform unto the Adonai your oaths.
Right. So when you take a job, you took an oath to perform that job. See, when you look back at it, we have a long line of transgressions that we don't even consider. When you took a job at Quick Trip, you took an oath that you were going to run that register. When they come in there and you in the back eating the donuts, you had broken your oath to Quick Trip. You made an agreement when you took the job, man. You took the job. You took an oath that this is what you were going to do. They trying to get somebody to turn the pump on. They can't find you. You over there eating all the damn snacks. You took an oath. You are in violation. We don't even consider that. Go ahead.
But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is Elohim's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Neither shall you swear by your head, because you cannot make one hair white or black. But let your communication be, yes, yes, no, no, for whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil.
Right. That idle chatter is about to cause some situations. Go ahead.
You have heard that it has been said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
You have heard that it has been said. All that stuff he's talking about is in Moshe's law. And he keeps going over and dealing with the righteousness of this law. Go ahead.
But I say unto you, that you resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite you on your right cheek, turn to him the other also. And if any man will sue you at the law and take away your coat, let him have your cloak also.
Right. The things people done stolen and take out of here, let them have it. Let Yahweh judge me between me and them. Let him have it. Go ahead.
And whosoever shall compel you to go a mile, go with him too. Give to him that asks you, and from him that would borrow of you, turn not you away. You have heard that it has been said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he makes his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. For if you love them which love you, what reward have you? Do not even the publicans the same? And if you salute your brethren only, what do you more than others? Do not even the publicans so? If be you therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
All right, let's go to our Proverbs chapter 21.
Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will.
Mm-hmm.
Every way of a
You
man.
know what? When you look at that, consider that. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh. And he turns the heart of the king whatever way he wants to. Check this out. You had a situation where Dawid numbered the children of Israel. Okay, what does the law say? If you number the children of Israel and you don't do it right, plague comes among Israel, right? Yahweh led the man to number Israel. Then the plague comes among Israel. Now, depending on what eye you're looking with, you say, you know what? Dawid done brought forth damnation and judgment unto the whole nation of Israel with the deed that he done. Keep reading. It says, Yahweh was angry with Israel. Uh-oh. He turned the heart of the king to deal with Israel. Go ahead.
Every way of a man is right in his own eyes.
Uh-huh. Now what happened if you saw that? What information are you basing your decision on? Because you didn't hear the information that Yahweh was angry with Israel. All you saw is what Dawid did. So now you formulating your opinion. Right. And your opinion might get you killed. Go ahead, bro.
Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but Yahweh ponders the hearts. To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to Yahweh than sacrifice. An high look and a proud heart and the plowing of the wicked is sin.
Right. And when you have exercised yourself in a high look and a proud heart, it's hard to come away from that. Go ahead.
The thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenteousness, but of everyone that is hasty only to want. The getting of treasures by a lying tongue is a vanity tossed to and fro of them that seek death.
Mm-hmm.
The robbery of the wicked shall destroy them, because they refuse to do judgment.
Mm-hmm.
The way of a man is froward and strange, but as for the pure, his work is right. It is better to dwell in a corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house.
Mm-hmm.
The soul of the wicked desires evil. His neighbor finds no favor in his eyes. When the scorner is punished, the simple is made wise. And when the wise is instructed, he receives knowledge.
Right. When the wise is instructed, he received knowledge. Trying to give any correction unto the unwise, and you're going to find yourself in a situation. So then you realize that you're casting your pearls among swine. Because all they're going to do is turn around and rend you. Go ahead.
The righteous man wisely considers the house of the wicked, but Elohim overthrows the wicked for their wickedness. Whoso stops his ears at the cry of the poor, he also shall cry himself, but shall not be heard. A gift in secret pacifies anger, and a reward in the bosom, strong wrath.
Right. So what is he saying? You can deal with something in such a way that you turn all the indignation and wrath out of the situation. Or you can deal with something in such a foul way that you magnify all the anger in the situation. Go ahead.
It is joy to the just to do judgment, but destruction shall be to the workers of lawlessness. The man that wanders out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. He that loves pleasure shall be a poor man. He that loves wine and oil shall not be rich. The wicked shall be a ransom for the righteous, and the transgressor for the upright. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and an angry woman.
Right. And it doesn't matter if they offer a fake smile, because whether it's nasty or nicety, it's still a contentious and angry woman. When you got a situation where a man work all day, want to come home, and then turn around and go back to work. I'm going to go do overtime. I can't stand here. Something wrong there. And you can't get peace by throwing your angry woman to somebody else. You don't want to deal with it. We don't want to deal with it. Go ahead, bro.
There is treasure to be desired in oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spends it up. He that followeth after righteousness and mercy finds life, righteousness and honor. A wise man scales the city of the mighty and casts down the strength of the confidence thereof. Whoso keeps his mouth and his tongue keeps his soul from troubles.
Yeah, we don't talk about it. We just text it. Somehow we think that's different. Just another way. Matter of fact, it's worse. You know, when you talk about a situation, the only people that know it is the people who heard it that was in that room. That's as far as it went. My mama told me as a child, you need to be careful of everything you write down, because that can always be referred back to you later. But then they didn't have text then. So, you know, that didn't really make no damn sense, you know. She was like, don't write it down. Why would I write it down? It don't make no sense. Then they're like, oh, look, this phone will send messages. Oh, really? She told me that before. They had messages. This generation didn't hear that kind of stuff. Then all of a sudden, you see all of these messages, and then you start saying, oh, this is the stuff my mama used to warn me about. You know, they got things where those in certain situations, those text things never go away. Consider if you've just said something out of anger about one person 10 years ago. Man, you don't remember that. Then that person wind up dead. And they pull up your text. Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now you got to defend your actions from something you don't even remember doing. Read, bro.
You know, just to even touch on that, a lot of people get on these social media sites and post their thoughts, beliefs, and all that. Going for a job interview and they go, no, thank you for coming out. Mm-hmm. And don't know that before you got there, they pulled up your Facebook page and looked and see what your thoughts are.
Mm-hmm. Right. Looking at all of your, and let me tell you something. They have people that's what they do. So you won't be able to fool them. They have a person that does that. So they're able to do, you know how I found this out when I wasn't paying all my bills on time. They had this thing called skip tracing. Okay. Now what skip tracing is, they go to other individuals and other things to get your information. All right. They don't just go to the regular lines of communication. I mean, okay, and to put it in the simple term, they'll call your mama house. How the hell y'all get my mama number? How you doing? Miss Evans, your son ain't paid. He got a Lowe's bill. What? You go over there and your mama start talking to you? Hey, baby, how you doing? I'm fine. Well, I know you ain't paid that damn Lowe's. What? How you know that? They call it skip tracing, baby. What? Who the hell is Skip and why he be tracing me? Oh, yeah, they went and connected all your other things and found everybody who's connected to you, drew all the dots, and went to somebody else you knew to tell them about your unpaid bill. So y'all just gonna embarrass the hell out of me to make me pay the bill. That's what you do? Damn it, it worked. Hellos, you know what I'm saying? But don't call my mama no more. You know what I'm saying? Don't call my mama no more, man. You know what I'm saying? That between us, man. You know what I'm saying? You did wrong, Lo. Don't call my mama. But when they have people that's what they do, they know how to connect the dots, even when you try to hide them dots. So they'll wait until the end of the interview. Yeah, all right. That's just real nice. That's nice. So tell me why they call you Pink Nasty. Yeah, I got it off the page. Ah! Right. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 24. Proud and haughty scorner is his name, who dealeth in proud wrath.
Uh-huh.
The desire of the slothful kills him, for his hands refuse to labor. He covets greedily all the day long, but the righteous gives and spares not. The sacrifice of the wicked is abomination. How much more when he bringeth it with a wicked mind?
So Yahweh is able to look at all of those things. He is able to see the intentions. No matter how much we smile and try to look with a straight face, don't mean a damn thing to Yahweh. He can see all the intentions of man's heart. We ain't never going to be able to fool him. Go ahead.
A false witness shall perish, but the man that hears speaketh constantly.
Uh-huh.
A wicked man hardens his face, but as for the upright, he directs his way.
A wicked man hardens his face. It don't matter what you say, you ain't gonna move him. That means Yahweh has determined to destroy him. Go ahead.
There is no wisdom, nor understanding, nor counsel against Yah. The horse is prepared against the day of battle, but safety is of Yahweh.
All right, let's read chapter 22 and let us hear the conclusion of this matter.
A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches.
Right. Wait a minute. So then what do you do to promote the goodness of your name? See, the things that you perform are the things that people will speak about you. See, a good name is word of mouth. So as word of mouth goes, what do people say about you? When they have encountered you, what do they say? Go ahead.
You know, there was a time when our people would say, hey, don't go embarrass this family name.
Uh-huh.
Nowadays, we don't care.
Right. But see, and the bigger the city is, the easier it is for us to get lost in the crowd. When I went to the country, first thing they asked me, who boy you? That was the first day I stepped foot in the country. What? What? I got used to that saying. Because in every house I went, that's who boy you? You're like, what? Who you down here with? My grandma. Who your grandma? And Mary. So, thank your daddy. Like, yeah, they're like, I can tell they thinking about everything. Thank your daddy. You think, son? Come here, baby, let me talk to you. Hey, hold on, man. Hold on, I need to be a part of this conversation now. Because hell, I don't know the dude. Obviously, y'all know the dude more than I do. Right? Go ahead.
A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. The rich and poor meet together. Yahweh is the maker of them all. A prudent man foresees the evil and hides himself.
An intelligent man sees that destruction is on its way, and he gets the hell out of the way. A fool stands there with a proud look and a stout position and stays himself right by the destruction. A man of understanding says, you know what? This look like it's about to be a situation. Go ahead.
But the simple pass on and are punished.
The simple pass on. Go ahead.
You know, even with that, the prudent man will foresee the evil and spread the word.
Mm-hmm.
And the simple will still.
Right. Go ahead.
By humility and the fear of Yah are riches and honor and life. Thorns and snares are in the way of the froward. He that does keep his soul shall be far from them. Train up a child in the way that he shall go, and when he is old, he shall not depart from it.
All right, but do understand there's a gray area in there. Train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, not when he grown. See, he grown, he don't know what the hell he doing. He think he do. When he is old, he will not depart from it. So there's a gray area in between grown and old. It didn't say when he get grown, he gonna do everything that he was taught. No, he on some different kind of stuff. I mean, y'all think back when we were 20, 25, 26. Hey, it was a different mindset then. Some of y'all just got lost. Come back. Come back. Come back. Come back. Come back. Come back. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck over there. 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 Some of y'all was already seeing something you shouldn't have saw. Come back. Come back. Come back. Come back. Come back. Go ahead, bro. Let's hurry up and get the hell away from here. Come on.
The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. He that sows lawlessness shall reap vanity, and the rod of his anger shall fail. He that has a bountiful eye shall be blessed, for he gives of his bread to the poor. Cast out the scorner, and contention shall go out.
Right. You find out that the works and everything flow like water. Go ahead.
Yes, strife and reproach shall cease. He that loves pureness of heart, for the grace of his lips the king shall be his friend. The eyes of Yahweh preserve knowledge, and he overthrows the words of the transgressor. The slothful man says, there is a lion without. I shall be slain in the streets.
The slothful man has a reason why he can't do Yahweh's work. And there's always an excuse. There's always a reason. You want to hear some excuses, go down there to the county jail. Everybody got one. And then nobody do what they said they did. Everybody innocent. Everybody in the whole jail. Everybody got an excuse. But you find out the people who did what they were supposed to do, those that were given talents and they did what they were supposed to do with those talents, they don't have no excuses. You read the parable of the talent. The only one who ended up with an excuse was the one who didn't do what he was supposed to do. The one with 2, 5, and 10 had no excuse. The one who had the same one that he was given had a story. The ones who did what they had to do, they ain't got no story. Go ahead, bro.
The mouth of strange women is a deep pit. He that is abhorred of Yahweh shall fall therein. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him.
The rod of correction, that means whipping those children and disciplining them when they do something wrong. But do we love them to death? Do we love them so much that we don't discipline them and then we make a more rotten child than we can ever believe? Go ahead.
He that oppresses the poor to increase his riches, and he that gives to the rich shall surely come to want. Bow down your ear and hear the words of the wise, and apply your heart unto my knowledge. For it is a pleasant thing if you keep them within you. They shall withal be fitted in your lips. That your trust may be in Yahweh. I have made known to you this day, even to you. Have not I written to you excellent things and counsels and knowledge, that I might make you know the certainty of the words of truth, that you might answer the words of truth to them that send unto you? Rob not the poor, because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. For Yahweh will plead their cause, and spoil the soul of those that spoil them. Make no friendship with an angry man, and with a furious man you shall not go, lest you learn his ways, and get a snare to your soul.
Right. But all you can do is instruct. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Go ahead.
Be not you one of them that strike hands, or of them that are sureties for debts. If you have nothing to pay, why should he take away your bed from under you? Remove not the ancient landmark which your fathers have set. Seeth you a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men.
All right, that's all that we're going to do for today. You guys remember that we are getting very, very close to our holy days, so we should be preparing our homes to remove the leaven out of our houses so that we can be prepared for unleavened bread. And we do not want those things to sneak up on us. So just remember that as we go about here, because these things are coming upon us quickly. That's all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.